welcome everybody to the Tilton Talk Show. This week we have Craig Courtney.
Good evening all.
And the wonderful Mark Adams.
Hello everybody, are you okay?
And the fifth Beatle, Alan Watton.
Good evening everybody. I still don't get that, but anyway.
No, you wouldn't. You're not old enough, you're not as old as me. We must say...
I think I am.
Yeah, you are actually, yeah. In fact, you're a lot older. So we've got no Nick and we've got no Paul. Unfortunately, both very, very ill. Well, not very, very ill, but, you know, ill. And we also don't have a guest, do we, Craig?
No, unfortunately, I heard from Nick O this morning. So due to some personal reasons, he won't be joining us tonight. But we are going to reschedule and get him onto the show as soon as we possibly can. So he sends his apologies.
Yeah. Right, I suppose we better get... I know we don't want to, but we better get down to what happened on Friday. It's not all bad, is it, Craig?
No, I think, to be honest, the first 20 minutes, in fact, really, the first half, we held them really well. Very, very few opportunities between either team. In fact, I go as far as saying both teams very poor in the first half. And then second half, the Albion just came out firing. You could tell they'd had the proverbial rocket up the backside. One mistake, and it cost us. It's just a common trend, isn't it, and theme of what's going on at the moment. We can't seem to defend those silly mistakes.
Yeah.
So generally, we're not too disappointed. Although to a lot of fans on Friday night, it was the end of the world.
I know. I couldn't believe some of the outpouring afterwards. I mean, we just took a team who were probably going to be top two to
Definitely.
Almost a few more minutes we'd have been raving over a really good point. I just like I say. I mean, we didn't look like we were going to win it at any point, but I thought we looked good for a good draw. I think Hogan had his best game for a while. He actually looked really engaged and really interested. I'm a bit surprised Deeney didn't come on. I think we all are. I just, to look at your dugout and see Deeney's out there with 10 minutes to go or whatever, I'm a bit surprised he didn't throw him on. But, personally, I'd start him on Wednesday.
You would?
I agree, yeah. Yeah. I think that, ironically, the turning point was just after half-time when we lost Cologne. Here's a guy who has missed about 3 games in 4 seasons or whatever it is, and now he's going to be out for a few weeks. And we had this solid defensive lineup, and he came off. Okay, Bella came on. He did all right. He did all right going forward, but where did the goal come from? From that right wing back position. And ironically, Gardner was just being hailed. He got in. He nearly had his head taken off, heading the ball clear. And I was praising him. The camera was on him, and the camera sort of showed him. He's looking around and he's pointing, and of course, while he's pointing, he ain't marking his guy. And boom, it's gone. So it's the game over. I'm disappointed in our attack, to be honest. One shot on target. Sonic, the way he shaped, I never thought he was going to put that in because he was leaning back. He came to him quickly. He had to hit it first time. And the cross from Bella to Hogan, never really thought he was going to get anyone. I mean, he made a great effort. And you're thinking, well, when did we really look like getting a goal? And we don't. We had Jukovic's header, which went past the next nearest one to that would have been an own goal when their centre-half flicked it on. And it just went 6 inches past the post. And to say, with Deeney sitting on there, what did we buy him for? Not to sit and watch, surely. Your goal's down, you've got nothing to lose. Give him a go. Again, my front two would be Deeney and Hogan. Because because nobody else has got a record of scoring like either of them. You know,
No.
Jukovic, we love him to bits. He runs,
Yep.
he fights, he battles.
Puffs and puffs.
He scores 10 goals a year.
Mm.
That's not a striker. That's a support player. And if he was creating stuff for the others, fine. But he doesn't. He doesn't anymore.
It was another thing for the press to beat us with as well, actually, you know, sitting with Dean and Deanie, sitting together, hands over their mouths, talking to each other. And, of course, that was caught on camera and everybody's past comments. It's just, he does need to get on. I think, you know, he needs that goal in open play, Deanie, to get us firing. And I think he could do that. And, yeah, I agree. I think I'd start him and Hogan on against Huddersfield just to see how they fare. But Alan, you're right about the defence. As soon as he went off, it just seemed to collapse, and it does concern me about how that defence now will set up as we move into those next few games. And they're all teams in and around us that we've got to pick up points against these guys.
Yeah.
Let's just get back to the Deanie thing. Why do we think? What do we think is Lee's thinking on this? Why isn't he playing him?
It surely can't be fitness. 'Cause, I mean, I know there was a question about his fitness, but by now he thought, you know, he's had a good few weeks to integrate and all the rest of it.
Mm.
So it is a bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
Whether something has gone on in the dressing room, whether he spoke out of turn and Lee's trying to sort of, you know, show that he can't be pushed about, I don't know.
Because he's that type of character, isn't he, Dean? I mean, you know,
absolutely.
I can imagine he's not the type of person who's going to keep quiet on anything.
But like I say, maybe we do need someone like that who's a winner to shake the dressing room up. We haven't had it for a while, you know, and people can't handle it. I don't know. It's all speculation, isn't it? I mean, would you go so far as to actually start him, but to give him the captain's armband as well? Do you think that would bring the best out of him?
I think he's a goal scorer, and you know, he wants to be on the field scoring goals. He can bawl and shout as much as he likes. I mean, he did at Peterborough. He was bawling and shouting at everybody.
Yeah.
But we lost 3-0. You know, it didn't help. You know, he wants to be in a team that needs encouraging. You know, complimenting people. You know, getting them fired up, bawling at them, and you know. That's not going to help. How ironic that Dean and Deanie are sitting next to each other. One proposed captain and one actual captain, and neither of them are in the team.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Mike Hansen on the shout box. He's questioning, you know, he's right. How fit actually is Troy Deanie? I mean, he was out for just shy of 12 months before he signed for the club. He hasn't had a pre-season. Is he fit? But then when you watch the videos, and I know those videos are crops, but his finishing in the club video was absolutely superb. And the one with Clinton Morrison was very good as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get him on there, give him a go. And plus, you can't get your fitness until you start playing 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Like I say, I'd start him against Huddersfield, no problem. I'd just start him.
What have we got to lose?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know, Dukey's in the veteran stage now, and he got 90 minutes on Friday. Poor bloke was on his knees, and both him and Aniki are throw them on in the last 10 minutes if you need to rest the guys have been running around all night, and that seems a better plan to me. Because Dukey needs to have an advantage. And if he's, you know, been resting an hour and then he goes in against a tiring defence, he's going to have more success than he's getting on. That's the problem with the whole team. There's too many 30-year-olds in it, in my opinion, in crucial spots.
Do you think, Alan? Sorry. Do you think it's a bit of a surprise that hasn't been addressed? You know, we haven't gone for the young, sort of mobile striker. Or do you think that'll come?
We've been looking for the magic signing, haven't we? You know, when you asked me about Deeney when he first came, I said I was reservedly excited because you know, in my mind he's 33. Yeah. Now he ain't Kevin Phillips, you know, as good as he is. Now Kevin Phillips we signed at 32, 33, and he's still with us when he's 38 scoring. Now I don't see Deeney in that kind of mould. Because he's a bigger bloke, and he's got more power to move around. Whereas Kevin Phillips was slight, he hadn't got he didn't have any problems with his fitness or stamina, should I say? Stamina.
Yeah, he was a poacher, wasn't he?
That's right.
I don't think the formation helps either with Dino. I mean, you put him into a side where you're playing 4-4-2 and give them some wingers. Djukovic and Dino are going to have a field day. Hogan's always going to play off the back if he's in the same team. They're always he's going to run onto the flick-ons and he'll get you goals. But at the moment, we can't establish a formation that actually works for us. Yeah. You know, it's a tough time for Lee at this present moment. You've got the poll up, Chris, but I mean, he is the man for me. He's the man to continue. There's no point in firing the gun or anything at this present moment. It does concern me, the fact that some of the fans are beginning to question it already. You know, you've got to give these people time. If you don't, we'll never succeed. If one person can bring it back round, I trust that he could. Whereas the other managers that have been there, once they were on a run like this, you couldn't see them coming out. You still can at this present moment.
Well, you saw an improvement. You saw a better organisation on Friday than we've seen for weeks. What you didn't see was an improvement on the scoring rate. You know, 6 games, 1 penalty. That's terrible. The defence, we managed to stop these people breaking on us losing the ball in their third, and then 2 seconds later, the ball's in the back of the net. We managed to stop that. I just. The formation. If we went 4-4-2, where would you play Chong?
Yeah,
I still like Chong on the wing.
On that. He's our best crosser of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
I'd play him on one side or the other, in the same sort of role as Bella plays, or certainly Sanchez. You know, play him in that role. Let him. He picks people out. You know, the others hit and hope. He picks them out. And then you got this. You know, either Gardner and Sunic in the middle, or more, or Woods, whichever 2 out of the 3 you want. That looks more solid to me. Both defensively and because you defend with 8 and you attack with 8, and it's more mobile that middle part and more defensive.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I did like the. Go on, Mark.
No, sorry, Craig. I was just going to say I've never been a fan of 3 at the back. Every time we've tried it over the years, you know, it just doesn't suit us at all. Regardless of who the manager is, it just does not suit us at all. It's 4-4-2 every time for me.
4-4-2. Yeah.
And people say it's dated and it's old, but you know, so's Nick. We put up with him every week.
We do, yeah. Oh, you beat me to it there, Mark. I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Poor bloke.
Any joking, Nick?
No, he ain't.
The one thing I will give them was the change in the way corners. The 2 on the halfway line. I did like that on Friday because it keeps the pressure on the opponent's defence, and they've got to keep them out. And you've got 2 players who actually had pace, and it worked on a couple of occasions. You know, we just couldn't finish it off. But the way that we got the ball out to them, and then it got ourselves into an attacking position, was really, really good. That one I want to continue. So. Yeah, it'd be interesting against Huddersfield. You know, just in the comments on the shape box, they are no West Brom, and if we play like we have done, we should stick a chance. And yeah, got to echo that sentiment.
Yeah.
Huddersfield are sixth in the table.
Yeah.
Huddersfield are sixth in the table. We're sixth from bottom.
Yeah, good.
And that bothers me as I look at the league table. And apart from the top three, the rest are much of a muchness, and it's annoying that we don't. We're not in and around the top 6, 7, 8 because we shouldn't be losing all the games. I mean, in this 6-match run, we could have won 2, lost 2, and drawn 2, and we'd have been happy with that. We might have been saying, well, if this, if that, we could have been where we. But we just keep losing because we can't score. If you can't score, you can't win. It's as simple as that, and I don't see the chance being created where it's 1 against 1 from the edge of the box and somebody pings it in the top corner. All our chances are half chances in a way. We're in a crowded box. Somebody's got to do something very clever, or a header. They've got to beat 2 blokes on the far post to knock it in. Whereas we concede goals, it's a bloke's got a clear shot, he's away, and Forest perfect example. Two goals, breakaways, and the bloke, the first and last goal, the guy both shots came from outside the box and beat our keeper comfortably, as did the Albion. Their shot came from outside the box, and yes, we got plenty of players around the ball, but he had a clear sight of goal because Gardner had let him slip inside. And he had a clear sight of goal. I can't remember when we had a clear sight of goal and even tested the keeper, let alone score.
That's another one of our problems, that we haven't got the players actually that can strike a ball as well as what we have seen in the teams that we've been up against. Because I look at our strike force and all of them really are poachers. There's nobody that can really hit a ball. Chong, we have seen who can hit a ball. But actually, there's nobody else. Sunich, no. Gardner, not from distance. No. He might hit one that's a corker, but we haven't really got anybody else. And so there's another thing that we've got to look at is actually, do we need somebody that's going to sit in that midfield and not actually be afraid to have a go? Because sometimes you just want to have a go, comes off somebody's backside and you score an absolute fluke goal to kickstart everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The poll we were running at the beginning of the show, overwhelmingly in favour for Lee, saying that Lee is still the man for the job. A tiny percentage have gone no, and a very tiny percentage have gone not sure. So there we go.
And actually, despite all the results, I think Sarkic has cemented his place at the minute. I think
he's actually probably been our player so far this season that's stood out. And if you were to do a vote on a monthly basis, he'd be top half of that all the time.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, people were saying, bring Etheridge back, he should be fit and all. But no.
He's a bit confused why Eldridge isn't sitting on the bench.
I agree with you, Alan.
He played in the reserves again Saturday.
He did.
Which incidentally, why wasn't that match greatly publicised? No. We could have got 5,000 in there. Don't we need the money? It doesn't make any. It wasn't like the Villa fans are going to turn up and wreck the ground because they were at home, mile down the road. So it would have only been Birmingham people there. And it was sort of kept quiet. And we put a good sign out. It would have been worth going to see. Doesn't make any sense to me, that.
My next door neighbour, his son played in that as well. Callum Sullivan, a name to remember in the future. There you go.
Yeah.
Who rates Chong? He has 1 assist all season and no goals. He drifts everywhere. I think he don't suit our style, says Adam. Stuart says play like that against Huddersfield and we'll be fine. They are no West Brom. Ooh. I know West Brom, but they are Huddersfield.
And they do play in blue and white stripes.
Yeah. Ain't bad. Lee's the man for the job. Yes, we're having a bad run of things, but this is Blues. It always happens. Spot on, says Violet. Yeah. He's Chong on a has to, I think he means, is he a pay to play on a pay to play bloke? But he's on a season loan, isn't he? So he'll be on a season loans pay.
There's an interesting comment from Nick Fenton, and following on from the Chong side of things, and he's our reliance on him being actually a weakness, because once the opposition have got used to him, his effectiveness disappears. And that actually, when you think about the games, look at Luton, he was unplayable, but actually after that Luton game, people have sussed him out and they mark him out of the game, and all of a sudden we do not look anywhere near as threatening. So it's a good shame.
That's a really good point.
Oh, I'm glad somebody else has mentioned this, because I was going to mention it, but I thought, no, that's a stupid thing to say. There must be something wrong. Paul McCarthy says, I think we miss Woods.
Yeah, he looks like he could unlock a defence.
Yeah,
he's a really clever player, I think.
Yeah,
I do like him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, a few games ago, he was what was he? He was the Ginger Ninja.
Yeah, he's like
There's another player that hadn't been playing though. So you question fitness. And again, does it come down to the fact that we just did too much with him to start off with? But I put him back in against Huddersfield.
Yeah.
I would, yeah. We want somebody busy in that position.
Going back to Chong, I think since that Luton game, he's not been allowed by the opposition to run with the ball. As soon as he gets it, and he looks like, he's brought down, he's fouled, and they queue up. If somebody looks like they're going to get a booking for doing it, they swap. You follow him now, you kick him, and he probably gets. He's genuinely fouled a lot, not like our friend from across the road. He's genuinely fouled over and over again, and that's got to change. That's why I say, well, stick him wide. Because you can't do it then. You've got a bit more room to play with, and you've got one bloke against one bloke, and if he starts kicking him, he ain't gonna last the game. You can't kick, when he's in the middle of the field, you've got three blokes taking it in turns. Whereas if he got wide, he'd have space and perhaps a bit more freedom. And as I say, he's the best crosser of a ball that we've got.
Oh yeah.
The one I'd like to see, I'd love to see him and Sanchez on the same pitch. I think
absolutely, yeah.
They could swap over with each other. Chong from the centre, switching with him, going down the wings, overlapping each other. Their pace and their ability to cross the ball would be you'd question whether there's anybody else in the league that could do that.
Yeah.
So it's that, and him coming back on Saturday. That's a huge bonus for us. He's a no small op that he had. So the fact that he's back to fitness and playing games, hopefully we can see him on the pitch soon.
Yeah.
By the same token, Craig, we still haven't seen a lot of Jordan Graham, have we?
No, and he's seen him come on. He didn't really get too much of the ball, did he, on Friday evening? But he's also a player that I think when he signed for the club, all the plaudits was saying that he is a fantastic crosser of the ball and can dribble and run at people. So now that again, fitness, that was his problem. He was injured early on, so now he's come back into it. Perhaps we'll see a little bit more of him.
Yeah, possibly on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think that's another failing. Actually, I think you're right about him. I don't think he touched the ball when he came on. I don't remember him touching the ball, and I've commented on that a lot in the last, I don't know, probably 2 years. Throw a sub on to make a difference, and don't give him the ball. Whoever it is, you put a new midfielder on and you don't use him. Put a striker on and never get a cross in, and you think, well, why did we bother? We don't have. We'll say that we don't have. We got Troy Deeney, and if he can't make an impact, then who can? Who can?
Yeah. Chris Rose said we spent a reported $2 million on a centre forward from Scotland, now on loan at Shrewsbury. I don't think he scored to them yet either.
He's got a couple, I think.
Has he?
Yeah, he's got a couple.
Yeah.
However, I would say I know a Shrewsbury season ticket holder who has said he wouldn't play him in their reserves. So
I've heard that as well, Craig. Yeah, I've heard that he's a bit of a boo boy target early part of the season.
Oh, it'd be perfect for us then. Sorry, I don't rate Chong. Watched him every home game and seen him in away games. He just drifts around when he wants to. 1 assist all season. Had 1 decent game against a crap team like can I say crap? Crap team like Luton, but he's not a winger, so don't cross the ball to Duke. I think a 4-4-2 Graham and Bella on the wings or a 4-2-3-1 is the way to go. Well, somebody on here might disagree with you there, Alan.
Well, I will disagree with that. When we were good, he was good, and he hasn't been as good the last 6 games. I'll freely admit that. But look at that, the Sheffield United game.
First game of the season, yeah.
Absolutely sensational. And as you say, the Luton game, again.
Sheffield United, Luton, Derby.
Yeah.
That's just 3 good games straight off.
Yeah.
And we're, unfortunately, we're as good as he is at the moment. And if he's not, we can't leave him out because it could be his night.
Nick Fenton just picks up on that and says he thinks our reliance on him is a weakness. Opposition is just stopping his effectiveness all the time. So do we think that maybe the teams have sussed us out? I.e. Chung.
We don't swap him about enough. I'd love to see him having almost a free role across that midfield rather than where he is. Perhaps even playing in front of the midfield too, almost like a number 10 role. If he's got the freedom, he could do it. But then again, he's got to also have the 2 people out on the wings to give that ball to, or to create the space for him to run into. And if he had those opportunities, then he could come back to the way that he was. He's also another one that I think if he scores 1, he'll get us a few.
Yeah.
I think formation should be our next poll, I think. Stephen Gill says 4-4-2 does not work. People try it, almost got relegated. 4-2-3-1, try it. If it doesn't work, it's not about formations, it's about players. And our players are weak and fragile with a gaffer who is green and learning on the job.
And Chris, we've got Violet who's saying you never know, Dini might get his feet by Christmas, score a goal, see us hit 6, and then apparently TTS will be a totally different ball game. So we'll see.
That's true. Yeah. 5 games, no goals. It's clear where the problem is. I'm afraid it is. It is.
Yeah.
We need a Troy Deeney.
That's right. We do.
We do. We want the Troy Deeney back. Yeah. We don't have the players. We don't have the explosive midfielder who will look to attack and look to strike at distance. Maybe Sanchez coming back will help us. Yeah, I think we think that, don't we?
One of the things Lou Bowyer did when he first came, he got this mentality where if we concede, we've lost. He changed that, and we did concede goals, and we got points, and we got wins from a goal. Was it Derby? We didn't we go behind at Derby, and we came through. Certainly against Forest, that stuck out a mile. First half we concede a goal. We've been on top. We've hit the post twice, etc., etc. Bang, the ball's in the net and the head's dropped. And we never really recovered from that. And that's got to go. We've got to get back to that. Now, if it means playing 10 at the back or whatever, it ain't about formations, as you say. It's about players and mentality. Yes, we can concede a goal, but we're going to batter these lot.
So do you agree playing ugly is
playing ugly. Yeah.
Play ugly.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't very picturesque, but I'll take a 1-0 anywhere, anytime. Clean sheet, 1 goal, that's it. Move on.
Yeah.
That's how successful teams. Okay, they'll the very best teams will occasionally give somebody a thrashing, and they'll occasionally lose to somebody they shouldn't. But they keep turning over odd goals, 2-1s, 1-0s.
Yep.
Over and over again.
Which is what the Albion did, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be fair, look what we did that under McLeish, didn't we?
Yes,
definitely. Crikey, there was a lot of ugly games there, but we.
But people didn't like him because this is boring football. Hey, without this division, by playing boring football, winning one. Remember that night against Derby when it was freezing cold and we played dreadfully, and we nicked. Carsley got a header, in the last 10 minutes. 1-0. Thank you very much. Another 3. Move on.
That's it. Yeah,
it's back to the Birmingham way. We don't play fancy football. We just want to get that result. Let's get us firing.
yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. The 2 decent managers we've had, probably in the last 10 years, we've had 3 decent managers, and none of them played fancy football. We stop you first.
Yeah. That was the Bruce way, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's right. Right.
Bruce and McLeish. Yeah, I agree. Lee mentioned at the start of the season we'll hit lows more than highs. Well, that is Birmingham City in a nutshell, isn't it?
Well, it's all about mid-table, isn't it? At the end of the day, I'm not being defeatist, but let's hand on heart. I don't think we'll get in the top 6. But mid-table is a good, not say a good achievement or stuff, but it's progress.
Yeah,
it's an improvement.
It is, yeah.
It's an improvement, and I think realistically, we can get mid-table.
Yeah.
I mean,
how many seasons have we got to start? Have we got to keep saying that same thing? That our mid-table will be a result for us. How many seasons have we got to keep saying that?
I know.
It's
quite sad, really.
It is. It just seems like Groundhog Day every season.
Sorry, Craig, go on.
I was just going to say, the only thing I would say is we've got to give the managers enough time as well to get us from that bottom to mid, to then give us a crack at going top, and top half. It's no good. The board got into their heads at one point, the fancy football was the way to go, and they were all basing it on what they saw Wolves do in this league. The massive difference was Wolves spent millions, tens of millions, in fact, to get out the league, and they were capable of beating anybody, not just those 1 or 2 nils. We will never be that team, and we'd have to be taken over by some massive consortium and spend hundreds of millions to get us to that stage. I agree. We need to get those scrappy 1-0s, keep that clean sheet. If we don't concede, we can't lose a game. Simple rule. So let's go with that. I'd take a dull and boring 0-0 against Huddersfield just to get and secure that little bit of a safety net in defence, and then move forward.
And a bit of confidence
Swansea's
as
a massive
well.
game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Swansea's, yeah.
Swansea's huge on Saturday now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And as you say, like even a 0-0 will breed a bit of confidence in the players.
Yeah.
Which is what
I'll take a draw of stuff.
Yeah. Back to Troy Deeney. I missed the Baggies game. Why didn't Deeney get some game time? Well, we did speak about this earlier, and we've come to the conclusion we don't know.
Makes no sense.
It makes no
sense.
We basically we just don't know.
No.
You'd have thought he might go hell for leather in the last few minutes, even if he took 3 up front just to give it a go. But no.
It was a stranger. Interesting to see the team on Wednesday. I bet he sticks to a back 3 all season. Oh, please don't say that. Gardner problems taking Wood's spot now because Gary Gardner is director. Yeah.
Well, not having a natural replacement for Colin may force his hand. Play Sanderson at right back, whoever in the middle, and Pedersen at left back, left back, because you can't play Sanderson as a wing back.
Right.
You can play him as a right back. If you don't, then you've got Bella as a defensive man. Now, that worked again. That was, everybody said, well, that was good. That worked for 6 games. But then people tweaked it, He can't defend. Let's go down the left.
Yeah.
Let's go down the right. Wherever he is, we'll attack that because he's not a natural defender. I'm not criticising the man. He's what he was asked to do, he did pretty well, but he's not a natural defender. And pros find that out,
Oh yeah, he hits us out pretty easy in this.
Yeah.
Mind you, I do like the look of Sanderson. I think he's quite.
I've been very impressed with him.
Yeah.
And I must, on that point, bit of going off subject, did anybody else realise he was Tessa Sanderson's nephew?
I didn't.
I didn't know that
until it was. Yeah,
No,
until
I
they
didn't know
said.
that.
Yeah, I had
did not
no
know.
idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Yeah. Another who, what, where. What's happening with Graham? He was half decent in the cup game. Yeah. Where's he gone? Watched Graham in pre-season. Was impressed. Seen in a few under 23 games, and he didn't stand out. He didn't stand out amongst the kids, says Pete Taylor in reply to Sam Mullets.
He missed a penalty on Saturday, didn't he?
Yeah, blasted it into the stand.
Of course, yeah, he did. Yeah.
Did he know who he was playing against?
No, exactly.
Did he have no idea?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Even Lico has scored.
Please don't let's get on to him.
I know. Back to Cosgrove. I never rated Cosgrove in Scotland. Some wonderful goals every now and again, but apart from that, nothing. Aberdeen fans were happy to get 2 million. I bet they were. You never know. Chris Browne, Deeney could find his... Oh, we've said that one yet before. We are missing an experienced, intelligent former Premier midfielder on loan, like Carsley, Ferguson, Ward, but Bowyer. Surely Lee has some contacts. Do we want any more oldies? Yeah, we do.
We need that.
I think I'll take any of them.
Yeah. Bowyer, he was good, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Bowyer's inability to change from 5-3-2 will prove our downfall this season. This is a massive talking point, isn't it? Formations.
Yeah.
Sam believes Lee will turn it around. There you go. Oh, yeah. What's your thoughts on Woods? I know his passing rate is high, but personally myself, I just think he chooses the easy passes and doesn't really do much for us. I like the guy.
Yeah, he offers something different, I think.
I'd have him, yeah.
Yeah. He's not your rigid,
to knock it about.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he's a good player. He offers something different, like we said earlier. I think he could unlock better options up front. I think he could unlock a few defences.
Yeah, I think he plays. He's playing too deep. We've only got Gardner who will run past people, and we've got Sunic who is the tackler. We want a midfield player that can do all three of those things. They can get forward, they can defend, and whatever. We've got one of each almost. And Woods has been sacrificed because I remember him playing for Millwall, and he was a progressive. He would take the ball forward and run past people. But he's having to cover this 3-man defence that gets broken on. He can't afford to go past the halfway line almost in case we lose the ball.
It's a shame.
He was the first man in defence. He's got to stop people. I go back to the Martin O'Connor and what was his name? The bald guy.
Nafty.
Sorry,
Nafty.
Kojak.
No, before that. Anyway, they were. I once had a conversation with one of the Blues coaches, and I said, "Why don't he get?" He said, "If those two midfielders go past the halfway line, we're fining them, right? That was their job to stop, get the ball to the other people, but their job was, defense. Two of them, defensive midfielders, and I was taken aback. That was in Trevor's time. That was in Trevor's time when he was an attacking player, but he wouldn't let his midfielders that's as far as you need to go. You win the ball, you're in front of the defence, you win it, and you get it to somebody who can do something with it. Now, they weren't bad ball players.
Chris Marsden.
Chris Marsden, yes, exactly. The two little ratters, I used to call them, because they were at it all the time.
Yeah. This next question could probably lead us on to a different thread, Craig Courtney. Peter Gunn says it would probably help if the ground was full of blue noses. It certainly could.
It certainly could, and I think should we say more positive news coming out of the club this morning in regards to the potential for the top half of the COP, albeit no promises, but mentioning that could be ready for Saturday's game. It'll make a huge difference once we start getting fans, to three sides of the stadium. The only thing I would say is, rather frustratingly, and still coming back to it, we have seats available to sell to every game at this present moment, where at the start of the season, we had people complaining that they couldn't go to games. Now they can go to games, and we still do not fill the stadium. No. I think I saw 19,000 is the capacity that we can go to if they open the top half of the COP for Saturday's game or moving onwards. Well, we should have 19,000 without any problems there every single game. We should
Craig, we should have people scrambling for the tickets, Craig.
We should, yeah.
Yeah, we should.
We should.
None of this business of phoning up and saying, I got tickets really easy. Actually, it should be hard to get tickets. And I know we don't, and we're talking about it here, we don't necessarily play the football that people want to see, and we're not winning games, but that should make no difference. We need the support. We need the fans backing. And we all still go back to that comment from Alex Ferguson, who said St Andrews that was full was a ground he did not like going to with a team. Yeah. So if we can't fill it because we got seats empty at the bottom, let's get the rest of it full. Let's get that place rocking. And let's give those boys the support that they need at the moment to get them that dirty win, that one thing to get it over the line and get us that other 3 points into the bag. And hey, we've got that following 1,000 and more going to Huddersfield on a Wednesday night. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's incredible, really. Our away support has always been fantastic, hasn't it? But we can't fill the ground at home.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I remember Graham Taylor when he joined that other team first time when they were in the second division with us, and they were, if you ask the average supporter, they'll tell you that they get 40,000 every game, but they don't. In that time, they were getting 19,000, 20,000, and he said, seeing all those empty seats makes you feel like a failure to start with. You feel as if, why is nobody turning up to watch us? We must be no good. And I sit in the main stand, and I forget that there are actually other people there. It's still like watching it on the telly with empty seats. The whole of the cup is empty, and it must be better than it was. Yeah, but it still isn't right.
Alan, it can't actually be the team and the way the team's playing, because you're the same as me. We can probably remember the really bad times. And the atmosphere was still electric.
Yeah.
It was still a place you had to be.
Yeah. Well,
we're definitely missing that. Definitely missing that at the moment. There's that blue touch paper needs to be lit, and how they do it, we don't care, but it needs to be lit. But I do believe that one goal on the roof will come off that place.
Please don't say that. We can't afford that.
The thing is, though, as well, coming back to that, Craig, we had a season of lockdown where nobody could go, and you think people would be champing at the bit, missing out every week.
I think some of it actually is down to that, and you actually see it in other clubs as well. I mean, people are still, let's face it, we're not out of any pandemic. It's still happening. And I think people are scared to go. But the one thing I would say is you're outdoors, you're in a situation where actually You can be as close or as far away from people as you want. If you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. You know, you do whatever you want to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
But we still need them back down there. And the other thing we need is we need the kids, because they're the future. And we've lost a lot, unfortunately, because of them over the other side of the city doing half decent in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And we need to win those kids back over and get them back in there so that we've got something to latch onto. Otherwise, the tendencies are going to continue to drop rather than going up.
Yeah, and if we're not careful, we could lose a generation, really.
Well, you put it like that. Some people probably have, like you say, gone out of the habit of going. They've just lost.
Definitely.
In those 18 months of lockdown, how many kids of probably 8 to 12 have not gone to their first ever game?
Yeah.
You know, there must over a season there must be hundreds, if not thousands, you know, who go to their first game, and it does one or two things. Yeah, I love it when I come every week, or they don't come. And if it's 50-50, you've got them for life. You know, those 50% that, and we've had none of those for 18 months now. And what have they been? You know, what have their fathers been doing on a Saturday afternoon? What have they been doing on a Saturday afternoon? Probably riding a bike or playing with a computer or whatever. And they get used to that. I mean, I got to a point, obviously I live a long way away. I got to a point watching the games on Blues TV or the television that I'm thinking, this is all right, actually. You know, for a tenner, I can watch this game. I haven't got to go anywhere. Now, I had to force myself when the season started to go to normally I don't go to midweek games anyway because I can't get out, but I drove. I thought I drove to the Colchester game. I thought, I've got to get there. I've got to go. You know, and it ain't like I'm not used to what happens there, but I had to go.
Yeah.
And I drove it there and drove back for a 1-0 against Colchester, 7,000 people there. But having done it, I thought, yeah, that's like, it's like being an alcoholic in reverse, you know. I've kicked the habit, but now I've come off the wagon. I've got there, and I want to keep doing it. And it's and I can understand lots of people. You know, I live 200 miles away. People who live 20 miles away, can't be bothered. You know, watch it on the TV or you know. They became used to it, and you know, I've only missed. I missed the Luton game. Every other one I've seen in some form or other. The ones I haven't been to, they've either been live on telly or, you know, on Blues TV or whatever. That's the only game that I haven't seen in its entirety was Luton.
Is the cost of tickets an issue?
For me personally, no. I know that's pension. My season ticket costs £270. That's an average of £8.50 a game.
Yeah.
You know, I can't afford not to have one because if I went to 10 games a year, I'm still in pocket.
And a lot of people argue, that's still a lump sum that a lot of people can't get together. But no, I see your point.
It's cheaper than paying for my golf every year.
Yeah.
It's still a relatively cheap form of entertainment.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, so I've had one in the Tilton for, you know, God knows how many years, and it's fantastic value. You know, especially with the refund, you know, knocked on top of that.
Yeah.
I think for season ticket holders, it's good, but Joe Public, no, not really. I mean, seen a couple of comments on the shout box there just a second, and I've got to agree. You know, £35-40 to go and watch a game is too much. But also, one of the the comments which is very, very scary, right, is Blues don't do grassroots football tickets anymore, and that's where we want to be. You know, I don't care as a season ticket holder if it's kids for £1 and they fill the stadium.
No,
I'd rather
not
it be like that than anything else. They've got to entice families down. It's not just around one person going to the game or a couple of people going with their mates. You've got to get the families down there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or price it in such a way that everybody can go. You know, if it's 10 quid for a ticket, then do that as a season ticket again. Older, I don't care. You know, I've paid up front. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. People that can't, that want to pick and choose their games, should be able to afford it, and at the moment are being priced out. That's no way to entice people back into the stadium. In fact, it turns them around.
Yeah.
I wonder if some sort of campaign, you know, going around schools and things like that. I know it's a bit daft thing to say, but I don't know. As Alan was saying, it's that early age, like 10 to 12 to 13 to 14. We need to get them in.
The BCFC community do a fantastic job of running like these football clubs and things, and they just advertised the latest one for half term.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's great. Kids can go for nothing, and it helps the parents out, etc. Why not turn around and say, guess what? You can also have a ticket for the next game as part of that, you know? And because
and bring your dad.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
The kids for a quid. I mean, my kids.
That's great.
They weren't children. They were 13, 14, 15, whatever. Were part of that. And you know, but people started moaning. Oh, we've paid for this. We're now getting it for a pen. I don't care. I had the convenient. You know, people don't recognise that having a season ticket, I have the seat of my choice every week. Right? I ain't got to queue up for anything. If there's a big game on, I'm not sitting in row 2 and I can't see anything. Now, what's happened in the last 2 months is that season ticket holders have been given these crap seats. And Paul wouldn't go, would he? He got a seat down by the front of the Gilmerick stand. Now, I can understand him not wanting to sit there. And if you're being asked to pay 25 quid to sit there, you're not going to bother, are you? Pay 25 quid to just. I mean, if you sit down there because the ground is bowed, the pitch, you can't see the other goal hardly, and you've paid. No, you're not going to do it, and that's part of the problem. If it was full, you'd get 20,000 plus, and those terrible seats wouldn't be used, and the ones behind me that are behind a pillar, which again I think Paul got stuck in, and he didn't like that very much. Well, you know, terrible. They are terrible seats. You can't see anything.
No, they are. We've got to get those kids into the ground. We've got to get them so that the week after they nag their parents to death.
Go again.
Yeah.
And John Smith sums it up lovely here. It's not very often you hear somebody say, we're a grassroots club. However, Sullivan and Gold got it right. Kids for a quid brought people in.
Oh, yeah. They're thinking of the future. Yeah, they're thinking of the future, aren't they? They're thinking, you know, these kids are the parents might be paying a quid now, but they'll be paying 20, 30 quid in 10 years' time each.
Yeah.
And
it's an investment, isn't it? Invest in the future. You know, you're giving £9 away, probably, a kids for a quid, you would charge a tenner for. You're giving £9 away, as you say, in 10 years' time, they'll be paying £100 a ticket and think nothing of it.
Yeah, no.
And better still, kids for a quid. Guess what? Dad, can you take me in the club shop? I want a scarf. I want a hat.
Yes.
Can I have a top?
And
all of a sudden, that's where the sales come in. We're right on the edge of Christmas. We don't want to mention it because it's Nick's birthday, isn't it? Sometime near Christmas.
I think so.
I don't know if he's mentioned it to you before.
Is it about 80 or
Can you just imagine, like, getting the kids down there now, and then all of a sudden the sales for merchandise and tickets in and around that time build up? It'd be perfect. Just that uplift going into the new year that we want. And yeah, we just need to get those fans back in the ground, you know, and
definitely.
Soon as possible.
Dad, I want a burger. I want a £10 burger. No.
We can have a £35 top instead.
Exactly. Oh dear. It's not cheap if you can afford it, says Adam Dwyer. It's not cheap. Ticket with child ticket, substandard food and a programme. It does add up, doesn't it? It does add up. I mean, you know, a kid, a mum and dad with a couple of kids, a day out, you're talking nearly 100 quid, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're probably talking £100 plus now. Travel,
£100
food,
plus,
tickets, £100 plus to go down. That's just not good enough for me. Do a family ticket for 50 quid. Just get people through the door.
It's crazy. And I mean, I'm probably the same as Alan. It's like when we were going, we never really thought. Did you, Alan? I never thought about the money at that time.
No. I when I was certainly in my 30s, I would go to 3 or 4 games a week. Blues on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Somebody else on a Wednesday night. If there was a Friday, I remember one weekend. It was Wolves and the other lot, us and the Albion. We played on Friday night, and I went to the match, either at Wolverhampton or whatever. I did them both, and it was 6 or 7 quid. Well, that's that, nothing. Now, the day we were talking last week about with Paul Marden when we beat the Albion 1-0. The following week we played Wigan in the morning because the World Cup final rugby was on. So we played at 12:30. I got in my car after the game and I drove to the Albion and I watched them play Bury. 2 games in one day. No particular cost. It was packet of fags sort of cost. Now I couldn't do that.
No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I think I went something like 7.5 years without missing a home, away or friendly. I'm trying to think how much that cost me. I could do with that money now. I could probably buy a player.
when you had all, I mean, I said this to David Sullivan once. I said I've been a supporter, I don't know, 50 years then, 60 now. Yeah. I have put into this club proportionately more than you will ever do. Yeah. Because, I've been doing this for 50 years, non-stop, travelling, whatever. Yeah, food, travel. I'd be frightened to add it up.
Yeah.
If it was £1,000 a year for £50,000 to me would be an absolute fortune. £50,000 to him is a pair of shoes, whatever. But he got me point. I said, we're still the number one sponsors of this club.
Exactly. Yeah. I can tell you that the money you've spent at Blues runs into the tens of thousands.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's one for you. Put this out there to our listeners and viewers, right? So we've got 11,500 season ticket holders, right? So if every season ticket holder was to give up £2 and pay for tickets for people to go that genuinely could not afford them across the rest of the season, would they do it?
Yeah.
I, for one, would say straight away, I'll give you the money now, because we could do fans bringing back fans. God, how powerful is that?
Yeah. I think that's it. They actually did something like that at the Speedway that also follow. It was Bring a Friend.
Yep.
That was a great success. That was.
It's a quick way to lose friends, though.
It is, yeah. But they'll come again and they'll go, "Why did you ever bring me here?" Yeah. It's in my blood now. It's in my blood.
Yeah.
But, Chris, can we get on to our very good friend, Mr. Robe, on Saturday? Went to go and see, the hero for many, Trevor Francis, at his night at Meadway. I've seen the pictures of you and your old man, and
it was a fantastic night.
Saw some pictures of Linda as well.
I know.
I think the guy with Photoshops worked an absolute miracle. It's took 10 years off her. I mean, to look 75 now is brilliant. Well done, Linda.
You are so dead.
But tell us about it, Mark. What did you learn?
Well, I mean, to be honest, my dad, he's TF can do no wrong for my dad. I mean, he's almost 75, my dad, so it's always been one of his heroes. And yeah, it was just a fantastic night. He was so engaging. He was nothing like his sort of public persona, dare I say. He was funny. He was honest. He was just on about the, obviously his career from starting out as a schoolboy and all the rest of it. He just told little anecdotes regarding certain managing director, Karen Brady, and so on. He was on about his, he did touch upon his days at Forest. He got a bit choked at one point. He did mention his wife, Helen. And he did genuinely get quite choked, which is quite sad to see. But no, it's a fantastic atmosphere. I feel sorry for him when he did the pictures on the signing because all the tenor ladies were there. So I did fear for him in that room.
They went and spoiled it, didn't they?
They took over the stage as well, didn't they, Mark? I've seen a video of them up on the stage.
The flags, everything. But no, all the pictures, he looked relaxed. He was laughing. He was engaging. He was just, fair play to everybody involved putting on a night like that. It was absolutely brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I was a bit touch and go because obviously I had COVID and all the rest of it. But I did get my energy back to go to that with my dad. And again, there are lots of, sort of fathers and sons, and just reminiscing. And yeah, I think the older lot were a bit misty-eyed. They turned into little kids again, I think, seeing the hero. But top night. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, that is such a good. Can I just say the Midway? If anyone gets the chance to go to those sort of evenings, it's such a brilliant place to go because it is such a good night. Very enjoyable, and fair play to everyone involved, and Tom Ross, of course, who compared it. It's fantastic, and they told a few sort of signed footballs, shirts, raised a bit of money for the Children's Hospital and different charities, and it was just 10 out of 10.
I was going to say, actually, watch out everybody that's on at the moment and are going to listen afterwards because we will be advertising the upcoming events that especially our Blues linked. I think the next one's in December and it's 3 ex-players, Mark Ward, Liam Daesh, and I cannot remember the third one, which is really bad. But next February.
What do we pay you for?
Granger, thank you, yeah. And February, our friend Robbie Savage.
Can I just say as well, Craig, TF more or less hinted that he is open to an ambassador role in the future if it did come about. He said he'd love to come back as some sort of ambassador.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, see, great. Actually, talking of that, and then just a little bit wayward, but Newcastle's takeover and these new people going in, the fact that they've taken 2 people, ex-fans, players' favourites, you name it, to the club in Alan Shearer and Kevin Keegan, is a stroke of genius. And actually, you say that about Trevor, but again, that could be a really good thing for our club to do. We have got ambassadors in there. I've seen Paul Devlin has got Andy Legg, in fact, going on Saturday as his guest. But we need some big names. We need some people in there that's all of the generations that's going to pull everybody together. And again, crowd pleasers.
Definitely. I think it'd be a massive.
Chris, shall I give a bit of a shout out towards our guest on the 15th of November, or shall we keep people waiting?
Actually, yes, good prompt, well done. And I wasn't ready, so
I'm getting good at this.
No, I know, yeah. What we said previously was that you were going to prompt me to give you a graphic, right? That would almost show the guest that was coming up.
That
correct.
Was the
plan. That was the plan, wasn't it?
It was the plan.
Did I do it?
You didn't, did you?
Forgot.
So I'll let everybody know, but we have got a great guest from say the bygone era. But Mr. Gary Pendry himself will be joining us on the 15th of November. For a show that I'm sure everybody will love. Stories of Trevor, no doubt, will come out, and his very good friend as well, Mr. Summerhill, will also be, no doubt, mentioned. But he's going to be a great guest. And let's not forget, a little bit of a difference next week. We haven't got a player. We've got the one and only Glimper now joining us next week. So it's going to be a really good show next week.
That's going to be tasty. That's going to be tasty. He is a big Blues fan, by the way, isn't he?
He is absolutely huge. I think home and away, he's been seen on many occasions, especially those people over in B6. I think there's many a time that he's been seen in that away end, giving some stick to those people.
Yeah.
Gary Pendry, now you are talking, Mike.
Now we're talking. I thought that would wake him up.
Yeah, I'm not talking about manager now. I saw him play in the youth team in 1968 in the final of the FA Youth Cup.
Right.
Gary Pendry, yeah.
You're that old.
I am. Getting back to Mark talking about his dad and Trevor. Yeah. I am the same ilk. Trevor, if you imagine you had Harry Kane join Birmingham next week, that's what it was like. That's how good he was. We were in the bottom half of the second division, and he arrived, and suddenly we had this superstar. It was, breathtaking. It was. I used to say, imagine Beckham's crosses, Michael Owen's goal scoring ability, and Ryan Giggs's all-round ability. He got all that. Whatever they got, he got. All three of them. He was that good. He didn't. His first injury set him back a long time. It took him a long time to reach that expertise again, by which time he probably had been sold. He should have been capped for England 2 or 3. In fact, when he had this injury, he was lined up to play. He would have only been 20 then, but he was finished up. He was 23 by the time he got in. If it was, he didn't play much. He got 50 caps for England and scored 14 goals. Now,
that's
impressive.
Got
anybody in the England side apart from Kane that does that? No, we haven't. No. And it was. My wife is proud to say that she and I went to his engagement party at the Old British Legion. Now,
name dropping.
Can you imagine Harry Kane doing that? No, I don't think so. But that was it. And I'm sure your father will back me up on that. He was something else. And we got a few decent players around him, Latchford and Hatton and Cambo. Who else did we have? Gary Pendry, and we had a decent defence, and we scored lots of goals. And people say, "Oh, you're only as good as Trevor Francis." Yeah, but he never had a bad game. He never didn't influence the game. We relied on him. I remember Roger Hine at a dinner saying he chased John Carver the length of the pitch at St Andrews against Cardiff after they kicked Trevor up in the air, and he got him by the throat. And somebody said, "What was that all about?" He says, Roger Hine said, "He's my meal ticket. You're putting my living in jeopardy," because they relied on him so much, and he did the biz, every week.
Yeah, I know them lot up the road were on about Brian Little, but he couldn't compare, could he?
He wasn't. No, he was a good player, Brian Little. I don't pretend he wasn't, but he was. He hadn't got the pace, he hadn't got the strength. And he didn't score as many goals, and he was a long way behind. Ironically, he got his England cap before Trevor, because Trevor was injured when he got his cap. But as I say,
I don't know if you know this, but he almost signed for Birmingham.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
That's right, he did.
Trevor mentioned that. He was almost nearly. When he left, when he went to Forest, they
discovered some fault. He got a knee problem.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it was Jim Smith did that. Jim Smith got a bit of stick for selling Trevor, and he thought, well, I'll get in the fans' good books, and Nicky and Brian Little after them.
Yeah.
And then he turns up. He's got something wrong with him. And I asked Ron Saunders about that at a shareholders meeting, and he sort of winked at me and said, "Yeah, I'm a good manager, and I, he knew. He sold it to us, knowing he was cracked."
Yeah.
South of Birmingham, massive catchment area next to club. Cheltenham, buses the families and its supporters, rich area fans. We have still got a massive catchment area in Birmingham, in this city, and I did read somewhere that I think we've got one of the biggest catchment areas in Europe.
Wow!
Even with the villa up the road. So we should be filling now. Sorry?
Did you swear then?
Yeah. No, I said, no. I'm allowed. Kids are quid against Crewe on a wet Saturday January. Players like Rodney, Jack, Soji, Rivers. Funny I remember players. Lol. Back to the prices. Would love to go. My daughter wants me to take her, but it's always money, something I just haven't got. So, we need to do something about it.
Big shout out here, and one for our friend Auntie Linda. Fantastic piece of work that she's doing at the moment in raising the awareness for young Arthur and his sad loss last year. We know there's the ongoing court case and things at the moment. However, on Saturday, asking for everybody to give the applause on 6 minutes for him. Such a young lad lost in tragic circumstances. Let's hope it never happens again, but let's give him those round of applause on 6 minutes on Saturday to make that as special as we can. So I'm sure he'll be looking down on us.
Bless him. Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
It is, yeah.
Heartbreaking.
I don't know where the time's gone. Anybody know where the time has gone? That has really shot by, hasn't it? Last 15. What is going to be the last 15? Go on, Mark.
It's going to be word association game, football, and Mr. Hipkiss said theme parks.
Football and theme parks is the last 15. Come on, don't let us down. Right then, Robbie Savage's birthday. Happy birthday, Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
Indeed. 47, and he doesn't look a day over 48.
47.
47?
47.
That's me.
That's his waistline, isn't it? Okay, upcoming games. We better have our predictions while we're waiting for the stupid comments to come in about it. So, Wednesday, predictions, boys.
I think 1-1, and I think Troy Deeney will score.
Oh, wouldn't that be good? If we've ever needed a player to score a goal.
Yeah. I'm going for a draw.
I'm going to go for a draw as well, but unfortunately, I'm going to go for the shutout. So it's 0-0 for me. I think we just need to steady the ship.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go for a usual Blues trick. I'll win away and then draw at home.
Yeah. I'm going to go for 2 draws. 0-0, 1-1. There we go, in that order.
I'm going to go for 1-1 on Saturday as well. I think we'll get 2 draws as well. Got a feeling it'll be 2 draws.
Yeah, I've got the strange one.
I'm going to be the positive one then, because I actually fancy us to beat Swansea on Saturday. I think we can nick one, and it would be about time to.
Got to be positive, even though you are on drugs. Here we go. Diego Roller Costa.
Hey.
Adam says, Savage, what a legend. Tony Alton Towers. The obvious one. Birmingham is a roller coaster.
I just got that. I can't think of a footballer called Alton. Who's he?
Stephen Bumper. Cars.
Walter Pandiani. I think that's Adam Wilkes, Walter Pandiani.
It was Adam Wilkes, Walter Pandiani. That's a great one.
I think this is a good one. Frank Q. Frank Q.
Yeah.
Disneyland George Paris.
Oh, excellent.
That's a good one.
Some of them A Drayton Manadonna.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
clever. Yeah,
was that one?
very clever.
What was that one, Chris?
Good. That was from Jason Hughes. He comes up with some good ones now.
Yeah.
Andy Legoland.
Yeah.
Andy Legoland. Oh, if Nick was here, he'd be wetting himself, wouldn't he? Otto Runaway Train. I think. Yeah. Damari Dre. Ton Manor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best one so far. That's the best one so far. Trevor's going for 2-2. Brendan's going 2-2. Stephen Gill's gone 1-0. Yeah. Boy, Trevor. I was going to do my impression then of Trevor Francis.
Leading on to that, yeah.
Hang on. Here we go. You're listening to the Tilton Talk Show. Come on, that ain't bad, is it?
That's all right, that is.
Yeah, it's too bad, is it? I can do Nelson Mandela, but I don't think he ever played football. 1-0 Huddersfield, says Stephen Gill. Michael Woods has also gone for 2 wins. Ooh.
You thought I was on drugs.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, but it's Michael Woods.
You've been supplying him.
Paul McCarthy has gone home win 1-0. 6-0, says Linda Edson. She wasn't at the. It was Linda Magna that was you've slagged her off tonight, isn't it?
No, it was Auntie Linda Ensor.
Oh, was it?
But I don't think she was listening. So
thank God for that.
I know we might have to play it again at the end, maybe.
Oh dear.
Do it as that sound clip. That'll be the best part.
As I said earlier, you are so dead. Wait until she listens to that. 2-1, says Linda Magna. Stephen Gill's gone 4-2 Swansea. Ray Bragger's gone 1 Blues, Swansea 0. Andy Legflume.
Yeah. That's good.
Jeremy says you're not shouting. Jeremy says you're not shouting, come on, Blues. Hang on, I better stand back a bit. Come on, Blues! I've lost my voice now.
What about Wheel Etheridge? I'm nicking that one off you, Mr. Rope.
Oh, no, yeah. I was waiting for a big moment. Thanks.
You're welcome, mate. That's no worries.
He'd been waiting to say that one all night and you stole it from him.
Chris, can I shout out about the shirt and our little auction that we're planning to start in the next couple of days? Before
that, don't forget, guys, get on to our group. There's loads of things on there, including you can win 2 tickets in a box, and I don't mean like a box. I mean like in a box at St Andrews. So get on that competition. Go ahead, Craig.
So you may have seen, but we set a target at the beginning of the season to get £2,500 this year towards our charities. We're already over halfway, which is phenomenal going considering we've done a third of the season. So thanks to everybody so far. Our next upcoming auction is a friend of the show and guest from second weekend, I think it was, Wade Elliott, has actually provided us with a signed match-worn shirt, which we now have. So I'll be opening up the lines in effect for your bids. We'll do it as a silent auction and run it for the next couple of weeks. But if you're interested in that signed shirt, then either message me direct on Facebook or drop an email through to craig.courtney@tiltontalk.com with your offer, and I'll let you know whether you are successful or not and whether you're leading. So well worth it. Again, once in a lifetime opportunity to own a signed Wade Elliott shirt. And also, we have a really special prize coming, courtesy of Andy Walker. He has actually managed to get us an England shirt that will be signed by Gareth Southgate. That will be winging our way shortly and will be a really good prize for somebody. So watch out for that one.
Fantastic. Craig, we're going to do a really unselfish plug now, aren't we, for one of our friends?
We are.
We are.
Our friend and actor friend, Mr. Tim Faraday, has a film coming out in December We've had the opportunity, and we had a bit of an exclusive through Tilton Talk of the trailer for the film, which you'll get to see in a second. But it really does look like a great event and really does look funny. So, over to you, Chris.
Okay, then here we go. It's on for about 2 minutes, so take a listen and a look at this.
So some of you may know me. My name's Billy Pitcher. So I want to start by saying that I'm British and I'm proud.
I've got loads of black mates.
Have you? Have you?
Taxi!
No chance, love.
You don't like anyone that's black. You don't like anyone of colour, actually.
Do you speak any English?
My name's Dr. Ali.
Now you're on, mate. I'm going to go, I think.
All of yous, bloody scum.
Good evening, Mr. Pitcher.
Really?
You got a problem, black boy? What are you even doing round here?
I'm black.
You're not black,
Look,
Dad.
look in there. Look.
Oh, snap!
Now, this ain't funny. There's no point doing that, mate. You won't scrub it off. Just shut up, will you?
You mean, under all this, you are actually a white man?
Exactly.
Mom, it's a black man. Can I open it?
Hold on, I'm coming.
That does look funny, doesn't it?
Quality.
Absolute quality film when that's out and about.
Yeah.
That was really good. We are going to win, as I'm going to blindfold their goalkeeper, says Brenda Brown. John Goes Frayne, always a good one. Waltzers Pandiani.
Yeah, that was Adam Wilkes, wasn't it?
Yeah. Somebody else has nicked that off him, though, I think. Jeremy, regarding me shouting "Come on, Blues," Jeremy says, "Thank you, old man." What?
Oh, man.
He's obviously looking at the wrong section of the screen there, isn't he? I think he's obviously got me mixed up with somebody else who's got a white beard.
Chris, I think the winner may have come through. Jason Hughes. This is brilliant. Helter Skelter Tarantino. That is just brilliant.
That's a good one. Oh, whoops! I think Linda's found you out.
She has. I'm quite scared now. I haven't got a red face, didn't I? I'm in trouble.
You are so dead. Oh dear. Where have I got to? Okay. Thanks for sharing the trailer, chaps, says Tim Faraday. That's no problem. I can't wait to see that.
No, mate.
Looks good.
looks fantastic. Really good. So we've done all the tickets. We've done the competitions. We've done Tim's, upcoming games. We've done Troy Deeney.
I've got one more thing, and I seem to have spoken a lot tonight, but
no, you haven't.
We've obviously been following the story of Dave Cox, who was the gentleman who had the unfortunate incident in the Tilton Road at the Fulham game. Well, we've obviously stayed in touch with the family, and pleased to say Dave came out of hospital and he's recuperating really well. In fact, some pictures circulating on social media of just how well he's looking. And I'm pleased to say that Dave and his family will be joining us as part of Fan Camp on the 1st of November as a way really of giving their thanks to the support that they've had from everybody throughout the what was rather upsetting period. So, great to see Dave back up on his feet, and looking forward to speaking on the 1st of November, and he'll be joining us with Curtis Davis.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's going to be some show.
And I know, John, just touching on that, I know it's not Blues related, but just best wishes to the guy who took ill at Newcastle yesterday.
Of course, yeah. And best wishes to Nick Spall and Paul Hicks as well. Get better soon, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's come to that time. It's time to say good night to Craig Courtney.
Good night, everybody. Keep right on. Stay safe.
Good night to Mark Adams.
Good night, everyone. Stay safe. Have a good week.
And a big thank you to Alan Watton. Cheers, Alan.
Good night, everybody. Get well, Nick and Paul, please.
It's good night from me. Good night. Ta-da, a bit.
We are the lads from the Tilton. support you till the